Hi and welcome to Soapbox, the Soaps podcast brought to you by radiotimes.com. We're here every week to talk about the soaps, what's been happening and what's about to happen. I'm Jonathan Hughes and I'm joined by my erstwhile colleague. Is that the right word, erstwhile?
I think so. It doesn't mean that you're sick of me.
Oh, okay. You have to say your name, David Brown.
Oh, yeah. I'm David Brown.
Hi, David.
Hello.
We're literally reeling from Emmerdale's Big Whodunit, which is definitely the big soap story of the week. If not the year. Well, we're only in like week 3 of the year or whatever. So, but I would say big twists in the Who Killed Graham. We've known about Graham's murder for some time. They told us before Christmas it was happening and to expect the unexpected. Did you guess that it wasn't actually any of the suspects that they'd done that nice picture of and who were in that trailer that must have cost, a bit of money? It was Pierce Harris.
Well, some of the clues were there because we'd learned earlier that Pierce had been released on parole.
Yes, you got to mention.
But I thought it was a big old cheat, to be honest.
Yes, but I must explain to the listeners here, David, you do like a whodunit. You're a bit of an Agatha Christie, aficionado, and you like a murder mystery, you like a crime drama.
Totally.
So did this kind of break the rules a bit?
Yeah, because like if you look at Agatha Christie, you look at the film poster for Death on the Nile, all the suspects, all those starry names, Betty Davis, Maggie Smith, etc., they're all
Charity Dingle.
all on the poster. And then at the end of the film, it turns out that, well, I won't give it away, but the murderer is among them.
Okay, so you're saying that if the story posits a group of people as suspects, it has to be one of the people that they have put forward.
Yes, you got to play fair because you, as the viewer or the reader, has got to be able to play along with the detective.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't a detective in this case, but it has to be.
We are the detective. The viewer is the detective, as you say.
Yeah, but they had unveiled this rogues gallery of potential killers.
Yes.
And then it turned out to not be one of them. And I did get echoes of the EastEnders Who Killed Lucy Beale.
Well, they
mystery.
did a similar thing, didn't they?
They did.
Well, if they did and they didn't, because they said it could literally be anyone. And I remember at the time they did a trailer of the entire cast. However, I think the one person not in that trailer was Bobby, who it turned out to be.
And also, they said like a month or so before it was revealed, here are your final 8 or 9 suspects or whatever.
Did they do that? I don't remember they did that. That's a bit naughty.
I mean, maybe I'm misremembering it, and apologies to EastEnders if that's the case. But
we were led to believe.
And in this case, we were led to believe
that
it was going to be one of these people whose stories we'd seen throughout the week.
Well, that was... I think it was quite a risk for the show to do because, fair enough, expect the unexpected. And I think they did say, yes, it could still be anyone. But the device they used in this point of view week where we had the same day told from different points of view, it really hammered home the fact that, okay, we're going to ask you to follow these characters in this kind of quite fun, gimmicky, high concept idea that we've got to tell the story in this very different way. So I guess... was it worth breaking the format for that reason and following, 5 suspects in 5 point of view episodes? If it wasn't going to be them, I wonder, I'd just be interested to see what the fan reaction is going to be is over the next few days.
I think soaps are very taken on with this stress testing of the format, see how far we can, how far we can push it. And just seeing that first scene repeated throughout the week, again and again, of the tape being played and Don't Fear the Reaper coming on, and then Graham getting... by the end of it, I was thinking, who puts a tape on just as they're about to park up and then gets out of a car?
You know what? That didn't strike me until halfway through the week because, he turned the tape on.
Was it him turning the tape on? It was, wasn't it?
So you'd think we'd know. We saw that scene about 72 times. I think it was, and then he got out the car.
Yeah.
And also tapes, 1986.
I know. Also,
where's his Bluetooth speaker?
Emmerdale obsessed with Don't Fear the Reaper. People who watched it week in, week out may remember, or perhaps they won't do, is that when Lachlan White killed Jerry, it then cut to a scene in the Woolpack where Faith Dingle was singing "Don't Fear the Reaper" as karaoke.
They've got the rights.
Yeah, so they're going to keep on using it. We haven't got the rights, so we can't sing it.
We can't sing it for you, and we wouldn't sing it as well as Faith Dingle. I do remember her version.
The other thing I thought was that a lot of it was quite hard to see. It was very foggy.
It has been foggy, though.
It has, but...
In the southeast where we are recording this podcast, it has been a bit foggy, so maybe,
I was wondering whether people would have recognised Pierce, actually, on the Thursday episode, because he looked so different, and he was hooded, and...
It was dark.
Yes, and the whole thing was in the dark.
It was really dark. I must admit, I was... slightly confused at points, and because there were so many stylistic, moody, breaking the format touches, which I, by and large, I liked, and I like to see that in a soap if it's done well and it adds to the story and it does sort of take you by surprise. I thought at one point that we were meant to think all the suspects were watching the body being moved, but I think it was just like a moody montage intercut. But I sort of thought, what's Charity doing there? Yeah. But it was almost...
They were all kind of slightly kind of like the bit when
ghostly.
They do... Ghostly, but also like when they kind of flash back in Scooby-Doo and go... They looked a bit kind of wavy, didn't they?
They did look a bit wavy lines.
Yeah.
So that... I think there was an element of confusion due to lighting issues. But,
I don't know. Who knocked him over? Who ran him over?
Pierce.
Pierce ran him over?
Yeah, because we saw the car as Marlon, as we were following Marlon and his point of view, and we thought, oh, it's Marlon. He walked past a parked car that had Leo's passport visibly on the passenger seat. So, but this brings me on to another aspect of the whodunit, because, we had 5 suspects, all with things to hide. We were all meant to think by the end of their point of view episodes that it could be them. As it turns out, it wasn't them, but what were they doing? Because we've now been left with all these other questions.
Well, that's the kind of interesting part of it, isn't it? Is that it kind of now feeds into the stories going forward.
It started a whole batch of new stories for all these characters, which I think is really clever. I think it is, I like that about the twist. I mean, the whole thing that it's Piers, it's a bit of a cheat, yes, but it does keep you watching and interested in why was Charity saying to Ryan no regrets? Why was Jay covered in blood? Where was Jamie in that car? If that was it the car that hit Graham? I don't know. Maybe it was, but I have a feeling he was in a car for a different reason.
Jamie can drive. He's crying so much that he can see.
Maybe he was the tears like made him crash into a lamppost, and he's really upset. He's upset anyway, isn't he?
The whole week was basically Graham throwing people to the ground and then punching them.
Yeah, and then someone saying, "Stop it!
Stop it, Graham!" And then him getting whacked. He punched Jamie and he punched Pierce.
Punched Pierce? He nearly killed him.
Yeah. So there was that shot, wasn't there, of kind of him on somebody on the deck, and then Pierce was kind of Graham just kind of leathering somebody over and over again.
And then did you also like, just to go back to the whole Graham thing? We've talked before about Graham the Terminator or the Michael Myers from Halloween. You know, Patrick Bergen Sleeping with the Enemy.
When he was covered in leaves.
Yeah, and then he just like came back to life. Amazing.
It was Sleeping with the Enemy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Well, it will become that.
Yeah, and Jagged Edge, that did it as well. Carrie, the arm out of the grey, all of that. You know, it's very schlocky 80s thriller.
Well, I mean, like in the tone of it is Sleeping with the storyline is Sleeping with the Enemy.
Yes, it is, because he's come back to find her.
Yeah, that is what it's kind of borrowed from.
Julia Roberts is Rona.
Patrick Bergen was on EastEnders.
Maybe that was the inspiration. Yeah. So just briefly, the things that I'd like to know that I guess we're going to have to wait. First of all, is there going to be even more flashbacks? At this stage, I'm a bit flashbacked out, but surely we've got to flashback again another 5 times to fill in the gaps.
Well, the whole series is now a flashback because it's still Monday.
It's like the clocks have gone back or forward.
By the time we rejoin it on Monday, it will be last Tuesday.
A week last Tuesday. They're now in a different international time zone. Sorry, it's 7 o'clock Emmerdale time. Yes, that's true. I think they'll probably
fudge that.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
All the blood. Andrea and Jay, both covered in blood. Is it the same blood?
Yes.
Really?
Well, I'm acknowledging that is a question that is in need of an answer.
I thought you had an answer, and I was going to be very pleased. So that is a question. I feel like...
Jay, who's the blood?
I don't
Rishi's
know.
blood?
Why is Rishi... Don't lovely Rishi.
He had a bit of a... Because Rishi took his Coke. Has Rishi been seen since then?
Rishi's having a vegan special with extra meatballs.
Yeah, Rishi's just off his face.
Rishi's on a Coke bender.
That's the next flashback. Yeah, it's a day in the life of Rishi after he took Jay's stash.
Off the pizza. Yeah. So that's the question. Charity and Ryan. I really like the Charity and Ryan episode, actually, because you got to the heart of Charity as a mum and as Ryan's mum. You know, that relationship is really interesting. Obviously, she didn't know he existed till a few years ago.
Yeah.
The whole circumstances of his birth. And I think it tapped into that nicely. I love Charity to bits, and I think even though she's all, she's an A-list character, I just love her so much. I always feel like there's never enough. There's never enough. I really like how this tapped into a side of Charity we don't really see. So I'd like to know. I think I'm more interested in that aspect of what were Charity and Ryan doing.
Ryan was very histrionic, wasn't he, when he got locked in that? Everyone was very histrionic, though.
Yeah,
everyone really went for it, because it was almost like Graham hasn't really been that much of a villain up to this point, but everyone was like, oh, I really hate Graham.
I think the note from the director was just do it really big and sell it, which everyone did. And you could see in all the cast's eyes, they were like, what a gift. I'm going to go for it. Because Ryan, you're right. I mean, he could have got out of that. It was like a wooden hut, wasn't it? He could have kicked that door down. Marlon really went for it.
He was quite affecting. Marlon.
Really, yeah. Very moving. I think you really felt for him. Yeah. But a lot of...
He sold it.
Yeah, a lot of shouting. But, it's... was it Chewbacca? It's just joined us in the studio. Hi.
Should we move on to the others, though? Because we're in danger of... The other shows.
Yes, we should. Yeah. But, let's acknowledge Emmerdale has kept us very, very intrigued.
It's kept us on our toes.
Yeah, definitely.
And I now need a stronger prescription for my glasses because I've strained them, trying to actually strain my eyesight, trying to see what the heck was going on.
I need to turn up the contrast.
Yeah.
Anyway, EastEnders, should we move on to that? It was a big Mitchell in crisis week. We had a back of the cab exit and a Ballum reunion, all within minutes of each other. What did you make of that?
So this is it for Lisa and Louise then?
I believe so, yeah. We knew that Louise was leaving and that Lisa was only back for a little while. I don't think we're meant to believe Phil Mitchell has left EastEnders forever to live on the Algarve. So I assume we'll see him again. He's got to come back to be on that boat, isn't he? But
we had a close-up of his ring.
Yes, we did, which is a good way to spend your Friday night, I always feel. How did that make you feel? A bit queasy? It's very shiny.
It was a bit like when he threw the ring in the gutter. It was a bit like that advert, the Volkswagen advert, when she walked out on her marriage and chucked the ring away.
Yeah, and she has a fur coat and she throws it and doesn't she chuck away all the trappings of, so Phil's ring.
Yeah.
Special mention this week to Phil's ring. So then we had Ballum. Are you excited about Ballum? The rom-com moment. That was a big old tracking shot, wasn't it?
It was
with a bit of music
and a bit dizzy.
So after you were squinting and coming out from Emmerdale, you then felt a bit dizzy with this whirly camera work on Ben and Callum's.
I thought Max Bowden was really good.
Yes.
I liked it when he was about to be parted from... I must just be really soppy about dads and kids because Marlon was... sold it for me on Emmerdale and now Ben on EastEnders.
That really got to you.
Yeah.
Oh, David, what an emotional week for you.
And the other thing I enjoyed was Linda's stand-up.
I live at the Apollo. Like the worst live at the Apollo ever. I really enjoyed that. I'd pay to see her on tour.
Yeah. It was like when Phil did something similar once, do you remember? And then he started vomiting blood. So it could be like the best of EastEnders stand-up.
Wolford laughs.
Yeah.
Just for laughs.
When she kind of said about Ian taking dad bods to breaking point, that was very good.
I wonder whether they said to Kelly Bright, just improvised, and then she just was really mean about some of her cast
She just
members.
vented.
Yeah, and they had to just accept it because they were filming it.
Yeah.
It was a bit like I saw Joker, the film, recently. I hadn't caught up with the cinema. And when the character of Arthur, just as before he becomes the Joker, he wants to be a stand-up comedian. He's a failed stand-up. And he does this like really excruciating, creepy, inappropriate routine in this like dingy club, and like nobody laughs, and he's this like obvious kind of cray guy. Yeah. I thought, it's a bit like what's Linda going to do now? Go on a crime spree? Yeah, so I loved Linda live at the Apollo. I'm here all week.
Yeah.
My name's Linda Carter. Good night.
You should have done a mic drop. Yeah.
I tell you what else it reminded me of, Audrey Roberts' drunken thing in Corrie.
When she won the award.
Yeah, love it. Yeah. So yeah, we liked all of that. I think we had the ultimate Sharon showdown moment in The Archers when she railed at Phil and the cops turned up. Wasn't that just textbook Shaz for you?
Yeah, she didn't have that hoodie on anymore, did she? The hoodie of emotional torment.
The hoodie of emotional torment. No makeup and a hoodie means emotional torment for Sharon. Yes, that's true.
But now she's back on top. Well, she thinks she is.
She's got her black blazers back. She's back to black blazer.
Do you think she'll find Phil's ring?
I think that ring
is
lost.
Find her way back to Phil's ring.
No, I don't think she'll ever be faced with Phil's ring again. And will anyone? I don't know. I really hope that's just lost. Moving on to Coronation Street.
Yes.
So, by contrast, I kind of felt like, EastEnders had this huge Mitchell showdown and Emmerdale had this big old thing. Corrie was kind of less explosive, I guess, apart from the chopping board to the head incident with Fizz and Jade, which was, I guess, the kind of the highlight, not for Jade, of the week in terms of the.
I think they should have done more with that. It should have
a bigger chopping board.
No, she could have moved on to other kitchen implements. Yeah, so hit her with a slow cooker or a sandwich toaster,
a Breville.
So Jade keeps on coming back, like Michael Myers again.
And Graham.
Yeah, but Fizz keeps on having to hit her over and over again.
She keeps finding like a George Foreman lean green grilling machine.
Soda stream.
Soda stream. And Tyrone goes like, Fizz, what the hell are you doing? Oh, Ty, you were getting right on me nerves. I just got the soda stream and lamped her on. And Maureen Littman comes in. Right, let's add evidence.
There'd be a lot of evidence.
A lot of evidence. So, yes, that will happen. I keep kind of going back to this, but I want to meet Jade's mum because I want the gaps filled in. I want to know what Jade knows. Because every time they sit down and say, Jade, tell us, give us your actual character backstory, someone interrupts or we don't know if she's telling the truth. I'd like to...
It's the missing... part of the story.
For me, it is, yeah. So, but I think it was kind of ironic that, Fizz is accusing Jade of being this spawn of John Stape means she's evil. Well, let's not forget, Fizz went to prison for John's crimes. Yeah. Now she's lamping people with chopping boards.
It was a very Stapian move.
It was very Stapian. Well, she's still a Stape. She never changed her name, did she? Gail changed her name from Hillman back to Platt after Richard Hillman was exposed as a murderer. Fizz is happy to be named after a serial killer. Make of that what you will, ladies and gents.
But I think now that they're going to try and rehabilitate Jade.
Do you think she's going to, become a regular in the show? Is it because I felt like, she's in and out to do this story, but I agree. I think they are trying to make us more sympathetic for her. But, I mean, can she, what's she going to do? Move in with the Dobbs? Maureen Littman will bury her.
Has she done anything that bad?
She's kidnapped some people and she's faked bruises on children and manipulated them.
That was quite bad.
Yeah.
But is Fizz a great mum?
Answers on a it was me that phoned social services.
She did bring it. She did bring a shotgun to the street.
Oh, I didn't have a clue. Oh no, Ty, it weren't my fault. Yeah. Actually, she is.
They're all rubbish parents, though, aren't they?
Yeah, don't pick at that thread.
Daniel's not very good.
Daniel's had a lot of grief to cope with, David. That's quite unsympathetic.
Daniel's turning into Noel Edmonds.
He's playing him in the prequel. Yeah. I think they could do a BBC 4, The Life of Noel Edmonds. Yeah. He's young Noel.
The late vaccination show. That ties him in an upcoming plotline.
There's a teaser. Too late, as it turns out. He also is looking rather like a bit fox-like because of the beard. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And a bit like Kenneth Branagh.
The kind of 90s.
Much Ado About Nothing era Kenneth Branagh.
He'd like that. I think Daniel would like to be compared to Kenneth Branagh. Definitely, yeah.
And what else happened?
What, in Corrie?
Oh, it was all Tim, wasn't it? Tim and...
Yeah. Tim and Sean Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's now a barmaid.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying that. Moving on. I'd like to then progress to Hollyoaks, where we had yet more death.
Oh, yeah, this is in memoriam section.
In memoriam,
because of Graham first on Emmerdale, and now. So this is the bit where the screen goes black and a black and white picture. We remember those who we've lost.
Remembering Jesse Johnathon,
who
sadly died due to other characters being horrible, and he pays the price. Terrible business. So,
do you think we will remember him?
Well, the thing about Jesse is that, he was very much the light relief and the kind of comedy, EastEnders fat boy style presence in the show. So we didn't know he was going as well. Like, it was a big shock to the audience. And he went in such a horrible, tragic, nasty way. It was pretty brutal. So I think, we'll definitely remember his death. Yeah, because it was kind of very grim. And and I think he's had a lasting impact already, because he inspired Dr. Mitchell to hop out of that closet finally to his mum Martine. Although not to everybody, because he's still a bit scared. But it was brutal stuff though. I think it was. People didn't kind of see it coming. And it was his wedding day. I mean, they really piled it on. It was his wedding day. It was like, it's going to be the best day I've ever had. Best day of my life. Cut to the end.
Why did anybody ever get married on any show? You
know what? They really need to get
live in sin.
Live in sin, don't get married. Yeah. You will probably die. Or be held hostage or something like that. So just a quick flash forward to next week. Emmerdale... Everything to play for with Emmerdale, because Pierce is lurking in the shadows, so we don't know what he's going to do. I did speak to the actor who plays him, Jonathan Rather, kind of just before it was on screen, had a little chat, and he said that he's back for a finite amount of time, so he's not back as a regular.
Don't fear the Wraither.
Don't fear the Wraither, as Faith Dingle once nearly sang. But Rona and Pierce will be reunited on screen, but it is not what you think, and there's lots of curveballs to how it plays out. He kind of hinted that, Rona might be the one to get revenge on Pierce. Like, Pierce is fixated with Rona. He's killed Graham to save her, so that's his mission. So I imagine there's him maybe trying to abduct her or kidnap her, but I think he's going to get a shock. I think Rona's going to, maybe get some revenge on him. So that's...
Will we get our favourite line from any soap when a browbeaten, abused woman gets her revenge? What is the thing that they always say to their abuser?
It's something like, you can't hurt me anymore, or I'm not scared of you anymore. I'm predicting that by Friday.
Yes.
So that is all happening in Emmerdale, and the general aftermath of the discovery of Graham's body is going to have a big impact.
On EastEnders, Cush is going to throw Leo over a balcony at the Prince Albert.
Yes, he is.
I haven't seen the episode, but I'm imagining it's going to be like that scene in The Avengers when Loki fights the Hulk.
Very, very much so. And I think what Cush is just going to like...
What is Leo thinking?
I know.
Taking on... We have a Cush.
We have a Cush. Yeah. So that's not going to end well for Leo.
No.
Yes, that all happens. And what's Corrie's big story next
Bethany
week?
kisses Noel Edmonds.
Bethany kisses TV's Noel Edmonds in Crinkly Bottom.
And there's really horrible stuff for Maria.
Very sad times ahead for Maria. She's going to lose the baby.
Yeah. Maria has been on like plotline repeat for years, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She just always gets involved with bad boys, and she's even had a miscarriage before, hasn't she?
Yeah, she has had a miscarriage before, so almost like 10 years ago, I think, with Liam. So her son Liam is named after the dad that he never knew. She was pregnant when he died.
Yeah,
that was very, very brilliantly done. I remember at the time, very moving, and so that is going to be sad times.
Yes.
So that's all ahead. Next week. Is there anything more for this week, David, you'd like to share with the viewers and listeners?
No, I'm a spent force. I've had enough. I need to go and have a lie down after all the doom and gloom.
You need to get your glasses seen to as well.
Yes, indeed.
I hope you can see this time next week.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. We're here every week. talking about the soaps. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you find your podcasts. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.